Good morning, everybody. AJ, the CEO here. I hope y'all are all doing well. Hey, I'm a little off because right before I started this, my audio wasn't working. So I had to reset it. I'm reaching over here and doing all this other stuff. Let me unmute myself here for half a second. I just need to verify the sound. Please let me know how the sound is going for y'all. And where's my camera? It's right there. All right, I'm waiting for it to catch up for me. It's going to be a noise just for half a second. All right, I hear myself. I'm sounding real good over here. Hopefully, y'all are all doing great as well. I'm just making one change. I'm still not used to my multi-view being on this side. I keep looking over here. But anyway, thank you so much for joining, folks. AJ, the CEO here. We try and come here every Friday as best as we possibly can if I'm not busy and try and answer your media ministry questions. I don't know everything, but I try and help out as much as I possibly can. You said volume is low. All right, I'm going to turn it up. And I don't know why it's low here. Hold on. Let me turn it up over here. All right. I maxed it out here, and I'll just have to enunciate a little bit more. Hopefully, y'all can hear me well. Like I said, try and come here every Friday as best as I possibly can to answer y'all's questions. I don't know everything, folks, but hopefully the little bit that I do know will make your journey a little bit easier. And who is blowing my phone up? I was trying to say I took this whole month off, and that plan failed spectacularly. So, folks, like I said, I right when I said that, I got a bunch of messages. I know people always ask me, like, AJ, can we meet at 10 o'clock on Friday? I've been following you for a long time. Honestly, I don't think you've been following me for that long because I'm always doing a live stream on Friday at 10. So, no, I can't help you. Let's see. Let's holler at some folks real quick. I'm going to do a little bit different stuff that's going on. We got some toys that we're going to play with. Monty, I'm telling you, man, we got some toys. I'm trying to get this out of the way. But let's holler at some folks here. Anthony, what's going on? Video streams, what is going on? Like I said, the man, the myth, the legend, Monty, what is going on? Parker, hello. Ashley, hello. Kurt, how you doing, sir? Lanny, hello. Keith, hello. I still got you, Keith. I still got you. Damon, Keith, I probably will do this stuff actually live as well too. Damon, hello. I love the name. Anna Manania. Hello. I don't know who this is. Good morning, brother. Upper Marlboro, Maryland, checking in. Hello, Kathy. How are you doing? This is my older sister. Hello, buongiorno. Streets of Destiny, brother Art. What's going on? Aiken Apan from London. Hello. I need to get back out there. Got a chance to finally visit out there last year for my birthday. And I meant to shave my head, but I got busy, so I'm going to have to do that after this. Detroit, Botswana, hello. Mike from Canada, what's going on? And I've already blocked this one. Stupid bots on Twitch. That's why I don't try and be on Twitch that much. It's just these stupid bots. Hey, I'm sorry to bother you. Do you want followers and this? Yeah, a guaranteed way to be against the terms of service and get my channel shut down? Yeah, of course, I'd love to do that. Whatever. Broke Citizen, what's going on? Lamar from California, what's up? Dean, hello. G. Albert, what's going on? And I shouldn't have been messing with my head. I think I popped a hair bump. Sorry. I was like, why am I bleeding? Oh, that would be why. Too much info. Michael, what is going on? Let's see. Ray Manuel Music, what's going on? Mr. Clarence, hello. Mom's Video, hello. Darius, hello. Chad, what's going on, sir? Joplin Leroy, hello. Kenneth Taylor from down the street, what's going on? David Cash, hello. Ray B, hello. Thomas, hello. Philip Paul, hello. Charles, good morning. Real, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Hello. And I think that's it. So, folks, help me out. If you got a question, make sure you put a Q in front of there so it makes it jump out and stand out easily for me. I am on all platforms right now: Twitch, Facebook, Vimeo, YouTube, all this other stuff right now. So we're going to be answering as many questions as possible in all the locations. Let me give you a quick. I should have just hooked this. Nah, I hooked up this other, my old micro camera. Sorry, I hooked up my the cable was hung around on the desk leg, so I couldn't move it. I hooked this old camera up so I can actually show you everything that is going on here. We got a lot of exciting stuff. As much as I said I was taking off, I need to actually take off. I just got a lot of stuff going on. Let me actually show you what we got going on. That's camera 8. This is what we got going on here. So we have a whole bunch of Unify stuff right there. That is, and this is not in autofocus. Let me see if I can get y'all in focus here. All right, so that is TCF's networking stuff, cameras, access points, all this other stuff. That's all their boxes right there. We also have Galilee Baptist Church. That's the one that I did a while ago. That is the one we're going to be installing our first Starlink that's supposed to be delivered today. Then it got moved. It's going to be delivered tomorrow, but the wall mount is actually going to be here pretty soon. They're the same kind of setup: Unify, UDM Pro, 24-port PoE switch, 8-port PoE switch, access point for the sanctuary, fellowship hall, security camera, Starlink as well. Now, you can't see it, and hopefully this gets out the way. Another Unify setup right behind that. That's what we're doing next week. That's St. Matthew's. All of their stuff is inside the garage. We got a lot of stuff going on here. The setup, y'all always wonder, there's my streaming PC. There's that. Now, some other kit that you can't see, some new toys that we got. You see, y'all can't even see it here. Anyway, I'm going to have to switch over and tell y'all about it. We got some new stuff from Unify. And I want to see if y'all would be interested in me reviewing this. This is the 8-port PoE Switch Ultra. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 PoE jacks on here, and then depending on what power source goes into it will tell you if it supports PoE Plus or PoE Plus Plus. If you get it, I have it plugged into a PoE Plus Plus injector right now, but you can get another injector that comes with it, or a 220 watt power supply that would allow PoE Plus Plus. Really cool, actually magnetic, so it sticks to that rack that I have up under here. We still need to finish up the Ori, the 4K HDMI. I wasn't able to get it sorted out. It is because of the ATEM only accepting 1080p signals. I'm going to have that video soon. Still need to do the video for the DJI Mic 2. Also, I have already removed, let me see if I can move this so y'all can actually see it. And I don't think you're going to be able to see it here because I think I moved it upstairs. Oh, yeah, as you can see, that's St. Matthew's. That's a X32. All that other stuff is going to be installed as well. You can't see it, but I have since replaced my not injector. What am I trying to say? The APC battery backup. I've since removed that, and my anchor is now the backup for my networking stuff. We also went ahead and this morning just ordered another anchor, the C1000. That's what I'm going to be taking. The one that's going to be sitting here, stationary here, and that's going to be my battery backup, because I think the APC only last battery backup when I have my whole networking stuff is pulling 170 watts. It only will last for 35 minutes compared to the anchor now says that my network can last for 17 hours. If I lose power, I can still have internet and all this other stuff. So that's the reason I moved it over. What else do we got going on? I think that's it. We're going to be doing some live stuff as well too. That I'm going to be doing. It's a chapter from my book. I actually talked about it, but I'm going to do this as a breakdown of videos. I'm going to do this live, and then we'll do some more as well, too, to give you some ideas on some other stuff. Let's go ahead and fire away some questions here. I didn't even do all the formal stuff. If I don't get to your question, folks, notice you can email me at questions at ajhomes.com. Give me 48 to 72 hours to respond. If you are not a part of the Facebook group, why are you not? Go look up on Facebook, Modern Media Ministry Made Easy, answer the 3 questions, and you are in with a group of over 3,200 media ministries from all over the world where we're gathered together, not to share the word and share your live stream. That will quickly get you kicked out. It's about sharing knowledge on tech and everything like that to help us facilitate ministry. We're not trying to preach inside that group. We're trying to share how to help facilitate that preaching to the world. All right. If you ever need any extended help, again, I am off this entire month. So I am not booking anything for this month. All right. But if you need some help, you can go to ajhomes.com/consultations. My calendar is open in April. I need to actually take another month off for when my daughter's with me for the summer. When school is out, we're going to do some trips and stuff like that. But that's where you have to book. If you blow my email up more than 3 emails, I will highly recommend that you go ahead and set up a consultation. Please don't leave messages asking me to call you, to FaceTime you and stuff like that. I just can't do that right now with my schedule. I cannot do that. So best as possible. Did I not include all the fancy stuff? Yeah, let's do the fancy stuff and get this out of the way. What is it? Which one is it? I'm pressing the wrong button. Yeah, it is 7. All right, just to let you know, to make this show go on and things like that, know that you can go to emissionarygear.com. You can get all of our merch and stuff, shirts, desk mats, and all this other fun stuff. Everything that goes is purchased from that site helps to facilitate this channel. I wish I did, to be quite honest. I don't have any sponsorships where people pay me to do stuff. I do have people to send me stuff, and I review it, and then I give it away. But everything that's purchased through here is helping to facilitate ministry, how we buy all the stuff that we do, and things for you. Go to emissionarygear.com, and that's where you can get it. Please know that I like to shout out your team. I know y'all are doing great stuff. Like last week, we had Bruce with his team there. But please go ahead and email me at questions@ajhomes.com, my media team, so I can give your media team a shout out for all the great stuff that they are doing. And I didn't have this image loaded. We need stories from y'all, folks. What are you great things that you're doing with your media ministry or your ministry locally? Share them with us at info@ajhomes.com. Make the subject viewer stories. No music in the background, clear audio, 2 minutes or less, so we can highlight all the things that you're doing. So you never know. What you're doing might inspire some other people to do similar things locally. So that's what it's all about. All right. Now, why is my image not going away? Why? That was strange. I hit the pedal, but it didn't go. Anyway, I think that's enough. And now let's go ahead and fire away at y'all's questions. Oh, wait a minute. One last thing I forgot. We're on our way to 70,000 subscribers, folks. We're doing a giveaway every 10,000. There's a link down below. We're giving a $2,000 live streaming bundle, an A10 Mini, Extreme, joystick, PoE switch, and a joystick. We're giving that away every 10,000 all the way until we hit 250,000 subscribers. Easiest way to join that is to do the link below or use this one right here. That's how you can do it. Now, I think all my stuff is done. And why? My images are not going away. Oh, well. All right. I think that's enough stalling. Now, let's go ahead and fire away with the questions. Like I said, folks, please go ahead and put a Q in front of that so it makes it jumps out a little bit easier for me. G. Albert was saying, hey, good news. I used my cat crimper to replace one of the ends of the Cat 6 cable, and it and it worked awesome. Hey, learning how to make this stuff yourself is always a good thing. Michael, AJ, I have a question. I'm using Presenter by Worship Tools for lower thirds, Bible verses, and I need a recommendation on a laptop to run Worship Tools. Well, the good thing is Worship Tools is not a very intensive program. I personally am also in search for a new laptop as well. Somebody asked me, "Hey, AJ, when you get rid of yours, would you let me have yours or sell me yours?" No, mine is going to my daughter. It's still good. It just has reached the limits of what I use it for. Um, I personally don't like name brand um, companies, but again, you still can't build your own laptop. So let's just go ahead and search. And I'm only picking Best Buy just because that was the easiest one to bring up right now. Now, I personally would look for a gaming laptop, but it doesn't need to be top of the line to run that. So this is actually the one I used to have, and this is the newer version. Ooh, it's the Intel. No, but it's a Nitro 5. That's what I actually use. But to be quite honest, if you did go with something like this would be a decent laptop. At this point, if you're running Windows 11, don't get anything less than 16 gigs of memory. Go for 6 cores, if not more, when it comes to processors. And for your graphics card, please get a graphics card. A GTX 3050 is the lowest I would go with now, and higher. And this will be more than enough. A 1 terabyte hard drive. I don't know why they're doing this. You could easily add a new one in here. A 1 terabyte SSD NVMe is almost like $40. So if you can get one with it, that's great. If not, you can easily add it. This one I think would be good. But that's what I would say. Again, presenter is not anything serious. The main thing you're looking for is how many outputs natively the laptop will support. So that side, we do. Are you serious? This doesn't have an HDMI out? Did I see that right? It doesn't have a secondary output. That's one of the essentials that you need. So I would say this is a no-go. Oh, yeah, it's right there on the back. Okay, why didn't it show that when I looked on the back? See, it's not showing right there. Anyway, it does have an HDMI out. Depending on what version of presenter that you have, it does have a USB-C, maybe an extra connector, something like this. The Anchor will work. It gives you another HDMI out right there, so you can have two. That would be the main thing. And I'm sorry, this is what's powering my fan right up under my desk because it gets hot with all these lights and stuff like that. That's what I would probably recommend for you. Let's see, that's page 3. Let's go to page 2. Dean, here, I had to read that at first. AJ, this morning my body is tired, but spirit is that of a 16-year-old boy. My body feels like 100, so the spirit allowed me to get up on a JLG lift this morning and do 6 SDI cable runs. Some early morning CSAA ministry, and mounted 6 Bird Dog PTZ cameras. Awesome. Ray Manuel wants to know, AJ, is the Canon CRN, hold on, 100 worth the price, or AVCams would do it? All right, so for those who don't know, the CRN comes in around like $2,000. Let's actually go over here, and that is a 4K PTZ, which I might need to use this as an option for some TCF that I'm working on. They want a 4K camera. The only issue that I had with this one is the joystick that is possible that will work with it. He wants to know, is it worth it? See, this doesn't even have an SDI out, so I can't use this on my install. So never mind. Wants to know, is this worth it, or the AV cans? I'll be quite honest with you. The 4K ones, when you have a 4K camera like this right now, this is a 4K camera, but it is doing at 1080p. So it's adding more data in your image from a 4K and shrinks it down to 1080p. That's why it looks better. Now, if you're trying to, I still have not recommended nor have I installed a purely 4K install from any ministry. I think it's overkill right now because you have to change all the infrastructure. You need to have 12G SDI cables, which are more expensive. That needs to run everywhere. You need to have a 4K video switcher. You need to make sure that your bandwidth can handle it. You need to have a video mixer that handles it, a computer that handles 4K, an encoder that handles 4K, a platform that handles 4K. And even after you do all of that, unless the people on the other end have the exact same equivalent 4K, they're not going to notice the difference. So for me personally, I don't think that's worth it. But if you got the budget for it, I would say go for it. But again, Ray, I would ask, what's your end result? And actually, this other part of the comment was, I need to go PTZ to the space issues and not having enough volunteers. Honestly, I would say start with the AV cans just from a budget standpoint, and then get used to that. And then if you really want to go to the next level, then I would say start with that. Again, I started with the other ones. There's no point in blowing. This is just me personally. I don't know your budget. I'm just talking if it was me. I have no, like, I saved up to go to this 4K camera. Was it essential? No, it wasn't. This is just something that I wanted to learn because this is the first camera with lenses and all this other stuff that I played around. For me, it was a learning experience. So I just want to say, what's the point? I know you want to get to PTZ to save on space and volunteers. That's great. Any PTZ would go. The AV cans, you can get them as low as $400. I think, I don't want to say that $400 is little because it depends on people's budget, but that's a good entry to get into PTZs, and then they can always be repurposed and moved to different areas. You got a conference room, you got a fellowship hall, you can still use it, and then you can upgrade to them if you want to. But again, it's your budget. I think either one is a good choice. That one, it doesn't have SDI, so that's why I wouldn't go with it, only because recently I ran SDI cables for everywhere, and I didn't run HDMI, so that's why that wouldn't be an option for me. But that's my 2 cents that I put into that. Hope that helps. Back to Dean. I'm also using the Panasonic AWRP150 and a 4K PTZ lit. Took me a minute to find out how to invert the tilt, but I found it in the function. Okay, awesome. Lamar. If I have 2 X32 racks connected duplicating the inputs, are the outputs going to be duplicated as well, or will they be independent? They will be duplicated unless you have them, and I hate using the term. Well, let me use them proper. Unless you have a front of house or a back of house mix, or you have them, let me use the right terms that they call it, master and slave functionality. One of them is the slave of the other one. So I haven't had an opportunity to set up something like that. If I had my other X32 for the other install for Galilee, I would have 2 and I could test that out. I just don't have a way to do that. So I would think it would also be duplicated. I don't think it would be independent. But again, if you have them connected, as in like you're splitting the signal and they're going to everything, like you have a Y connection and all of them are going into the same thing, then yes, they would be independent. If you have them slaved together, then I don't know on that one. Let's see. Thomas Lee. Our video quality is poor. We're currently using a Mac desktop M3 8 gigabytes with OBS for live streaming, a Blackmagic 6K G2 Pocket cinema camera. No extra capture card. How can we make it better? First off, I need some more detail. How are you connecting I'm not aware of the connections offered from the 6K. Does the 6K allow you to bring in a feed over USB? I'm just wondering, because you said no extra capture card. How are you bringing in the video from that camera into your Mac? So like mine, I think the USB is only for recording, unless it's something new that I'm not aware of, excuse me. Because mainly when it comes to quality, when it comes to your camera, that's going to be, and it's coming from OBS, that's going to be into your video bit rate. So while I'm opening up OBS, so if we come in here and we go to our settings and our video, our output, your video bit rate is going to determine the quality of how much data is put in to every frame of video that's being live streamed. So again, I could crank this up to like 10,000. My computer can support it. My upload speed can support it. But again, some platforms might give you an error saying like, hey, you're sending too much. We can't do nothing with it. This right here, as well as your upload speed, is what will determine the quality of your video. But again, how do you have your camera connected to your Mac is my first question, because it might introduce something with your capture card. I don't think it's that much. And again, I know y'all saying I'm trying to be right in front of my camera. I can't crank this up anymore from a volume standpoint. I really don't know why it's low all of a sudden, but we'll go from there. G. Albert. Send. Thank you. My Mac Mini, iMac, and iPad has been under the weather. Yeah, you need to replace them all. When I install your version of OBS, will it overwrite the old OBS? Regardless, I'll go back. No, it won't overwrite it. It's just a scene that it will be. You give it a different name. You can add it multiple times. Thank you, Joseph Brown, for becoming a subscriber. No, it won't overwrite anything. The only way it would overwrite something if you import the scenes, because that's all the stuff I'm doing is adding a scene collection. And if you give it a different name, it won't overwrite anything. So I think you're good. Anthony, I installed my Envato PTZ. It looks great. I don't have the controller yet, but can you show me how to control it with the PTZ controller in OBS? Anthony, you're asking me all these serious questions. Let me see. Let me see if I can actually get over here. So one of the OBS controls, PTZ Optics provides this free. And let's go to resources, applications. I'm getting ready to sneeze. Hold on 1 second. Ooh, excuse me. So it's the OBS plugin here. Let's go ahead and download that, the software. I got to add some information. Hold on. Put my info out there. Industry worship. Yes. And they're going to email it to me. Oh, joy. I hate when they do stuff like that. And again, I know I'm guilty of that as well too, but I'm at the discretion of Squarespace. So when you're trying to download Bibles and stuff like that, that is not me. That is Squarespace. And I am waiting for this email to come through. But with that being said, that's the other thing I forgot to mention. I don't know if y'all saw my community post, but if you come over here now to digital and you go to Bibles, we have Naphtali easy to read version now available, and we also have the message available free. This is for a presenter or any presentation program that supports XML Bibles. You can import them very easily. So those are the other versions that we cover. And I'm still waiting for this email to come in from PTZ Optics there, Anthony. And it has not came in yet. Give y'all an update as well to a community notice as well. I wish I had saved it because I didn't have the time to do this when it came in. I got a Facebook post claiming that my account was going to be done, and it looked shockingly close to exactly what Facebook would send, but it was a scam. And I can't even bring it back up to show you what it looked like, but I did report it. It won't even let me show who actually sent it. I mean, it was called the thing was called the account was called Policy Issues. It looked exactly like a warning from Facebook, but it was actually a post and the image looked exactly like it. I am very skeptical when it comes to anything on here. This I told this to my mom. She got scanned by somebody talking about Microsoft calling because she's having an issue with her computer. Microsoft don't call you, first off. Secondly, I told my mom, I built your computer. So, no, if it ain't me telling you that there's a problem with your computer, anybody else is lying. All right. Just be very skeptical. Most of these times they try and put you in fear and all this other stuff like that. They don't do stuff like that. So be mindful of that. And I'm really just stalling because I'm waiting to get this email for this link. And I haven't gotten it yet. So, Anthony, I might have to come back to this one. I keep hitting refresh and nothing has showed up. So, I'm going to have to circle back once that email comes in. Let's see. What's the next one that we got here? Lanny, what would you suggest for keyboard and mouse? That's the one thing I forgot about needing. Honestly, I use the MK120 Logitech. That is what I have used for years. It is rock solid, and I'm old fashioned. I don't like using wireless mice and stuff like that because that's one less thing you'd have to do, adding some batteries and stuff like that. So as you can see, I've ordered this 26 times. So, yeah, just to let you know, yes, that is serious. That price. That's how much stuff that we got on an install coming up soon. Y'all will be aware of it pretty soon. But yes, this is one I use. $16. It's a deal for a rock solid mouse and keyboard. Yes, they are wired. That's just how I like it. I just don't want to add any wireless stuff into stuff like that. Fred Lee, hello from Ghana. Thank you for joining. Again, Bruce, we just shared your team again. Appreciate it. Back to Ray. I need to go. Wait a minute, I already answered this. Right, my bad. No. You added some more onto this. I need to go with PTZ due to space limitations, volunteers. We have the Canon G40. It's the Canon CR10, worth it, or 2 AV cams I can get. Honestly, back to what I was saying originally, yes, I would start with the 2 AV cams. You would get way more out of 2 over just that one. And as time, you can grow them if you need to. Aiken again from London here. I'm 16 and head of the media ministry. Well, congratulations. See, all y'all other ministries that think you have to be 50 and 80 and 1,000 years old to run the media ministry. If you got people, no matter the age, let them do it. But great for you. In my church, I have a few questions, but what is the best way to get audio? Now we are using the audio output from the mixer. Follow up. Also, is there another way to stream live through OBS to multiple channels simultaneously? I've looked at the restream as an option, but I want to see if there are any alternatives. Again, awesome that you're at that age and you're helping out with media ministry. That is awesome. And well, when you're saying you're pulling audio for output from the mixer, yes, that's what I would always do. That's the easiest way to do it. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to bring up a video to answer your other question. That's how I would normally do it. I always do it that way. I'll pull from an aux mix that I make for the live stream from whatever mixer, or use one of the sends, or mainly just an aux or something like that. And I would send that from a direct connection from a XLR output, 1/4 inch output, RCA output, USB output to OBS into the line in of your computer. If you don't, you can always add an audio interface to bring that in. and bring it into OBS. That's the cleanest way. And then you don't have to worry about secondary mics and all this other stuff. Whoever's talking into the mic inside your sanctuary and it's going through your PA system, sound system, mixer, that's the same thing that's going to the live stream. Makes it easy. Now, when it comes to running multiple streams, depending on your computer, I did a video about this, how to stream to multiple destinations for free with OBS. That is an RTMP plugin that you can get that allows you to do this. And I've used it multiple times, and it's actually right here. So I can come in here. I have Vimeo hooked in. I can add a different location to wherever, and you just need to make sure that your upload speed and your computer can handle it, and it is completely free. So that I would recommend that. Check that out. Try that out. I will put a link to that video in the chat. Multiple RTMP streaming with OBS. And check that out. See if that helps. Yeah. W. Hey, AJ, have you ever considered using the USB port for audio on mixers when available? I discovered this and I have a big difference and improvement. Yeah, I actually use it quite a lot. If I am using a computer and I'm not using a video switcher and I'm like going to like vMix or OBS directly, yes, if a USB is an option, it helps me having to worry about RF noise, electrical noise, and yes, I've used that multiple times. First Baptist Church of South Lynchburg, I had them with a small Behringer board that had USB out, and that's how their audio was going from their mixer to that mixer, which is their mixer was in the front of the church, completely controlled over an iPad, but we ran it all the way back, and with a little mixer to give them more control, that's how it's being sent to OBS. So yes, I have done that. Real. Per your request, thank you for the opportunity for the questions. Please, would you have 3 security camera system budget friendly that you would recommend? Well, that depends on what you consider budget friendly, because I know everybody's budget is a little bit different. I only recommend the stuff that I have installed personally. But again, the Unify one is great, but you need a lot of bells and whistles to get that stuff, and that can get fairly pricey pretty quick. But what I've also used are some of the Real Links, some of these smaller ones. This is a 4-camera system that I actually installed at a friend's uncle's house, going for about $400, but it can actually add a total of 8 cameras on here. So that has worked very well. But again, that's all dependent on your budget. So that's what I've used before, this Real Link. And I haven't heard, actually, I could log into it because I'm still an admin over that to see how the stuff is working. I say no call means everything is working well. Like I said it in one of my posts. As much as I recommend Ubiquiti stuff, I am not an affiliate with them. Every time I try and get one, they say I don't qualify. I think that's funny. But anyway, I like their stuff, whether they give me an affiliate or not. The next level of that is where I said I would use the Unify stuff. But again, that's not just security. That's door access. That's Wi-Fi. That's network access. And that's telephone. It gives you a whole bunch of functionality. And I'm just going to give a sneak peek of all the work that we've done at Gates of Faith, where we've installed the security cameras as well. This is everything. We are short by 1 camera, and that's going to be on the opposite side of the church. So we're going to probably do that, I don't know, 2 weeks from now. But everything is up and good to go. The only thing that's left is the door access, because I got to cut through that steel to get that done, which is also controlled through Unify. Really, really, really cool stuff. Back to Aiken, he was saying, from the first question, from the mixer, we're experiencing some annoying background sounds, and we still can't figure out where it's coming from. Background noise. I would probably look at introducing a hum eliminator as possible without me hearing what that noise is. It's kind of hard for me to suggest exactly what it would be, but for the most part, I would check out something like this. And they raised the price. I got mine for $14. But anyway, I would say check out something like this. put it in between it, does it get rid of the noise? This is the last one I had. That's why I installed back at Hood Temple, because they were having a similar issue, and that solved the issue, because I think a whole bunch of people started putting cables and power cables and laying stuff on top of stuff, and it introduced a whole bunch of noise. That's what I would recommend. Let me put that here in the chat as well, too. Eliminator. Put that there. All right, folks, if you don't mind, I'm looking at it right now. We got 73 people watching, but we only got 24 likes. If you don't mind, please go ahead and hit that like button. What that really does, it tells YouTube and the algorithm, hey, something great is going on here, and it recommends it to other people. This is the same thing I recommend for y'all to do as well. Now, let me take a quick break here, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I was talking about. I am going to do this as a separate video. But one thing that I really think that people need to, that people at ministries are sleeping on, is the leveraging of AI on other stuff. I've used ChatGPT for a long time, and I'm working with Pastor Kyle on some other stuff as well too. But I'm just going to use Pastor Paul here, the new pastor at Antioch, the church I used to be at, and I'm going to leverage this to show you what you can do. Now, AI can do a lot of things. It can summarize your videos and all this other stuff. Oh, they actually changed the title. That's what I'm talking about right here. They summarize and shorten, helps you summarize your videos. So, like, for example, like I can come in here, and that's the first right hand of fellowship. I'm going to do this live here. I'm going to go in here into ChatGPT. This is the paid version so that I can use some extra GPTs. They're calling them now, extra add-ons. I think it's like $5 a month. But I'll come in here and say, please summarize, if I spell it right, summarize this video with tags and the top 5 topics it covers. And actually, let me change the video because that's an entire service. Let me go back to Gates of Faith Ministries, and Pastor Kyle does this fresh yes. Now, for this to work, you have to have subtitles on so that the script can read it. So this video doesn't have it. I need to look at something different. And I don't want to do a long, drawn-out video for right now. This is where you would maybe just record just the sermon, and you can summarize it like that. So let me go back to this one from December 1st of last year. All right, subtitles are on here. Let me go ahead and grab this video, and I'm going to say and what it covers. I'll put the link, and let's see what it does. Because one of the issues that Pastor Kyle is, and I know maybe some of y'all pastors are doing the same way. You don't do notes. Sometimes it's just the Spirit is just leading you to preach whatever. And then after the fact, unless you go review the tapes, you don't know exactly what you talked about. And how do you link them together? How do you base them on topic, scripture, stuff like that? So again, it's reading through the script of that video, and it's spitting out everything here. So here it says, I've summarized this video, which covers a sermon delivered by Pastor J. Kyle Nicholson. This video focuses on spiritual encouragement and guidance, particularly emphasizing God's mercy, faithfulness, and the empowerment to avoid sin and maintain righteousness. The top 5 topics: God's mercies and faithfulness, scriptural meditation, grace and redemption, sanctification process, prayer of guidance, and protection. These themes are also interwoven with encouragement. So I would also say, so that summarizes it really good. So you can actually use this as a description. You want to put something on your video to help lead some people on your website. You can also say, please give me video please give me hashtags for this video as well. Here are relevant hashtags: Gates, Fresh Yes, and then you can have it do that and categorize it, and you start summarizing it. So just imagine that you can use one of these tools to simplify this, categorize this, and now you can take all this stuff, put these tags in your video, put a description, a short description on your website to get people to cover certain things, and then link it back to that video. So like, for example, I could do the same thing, and I haven't done it as much as I should have. So let me use that same tool here. I'm going to use the anchor, and let's go ahead and copy this, and I'll say, let's make a new one. And where did that move to? There it goes. New chat. Please make a blog, a professional, man, why is my spelling off? Blog entry for this video. And I know I have I have subtitles turned on here. So now it's reading through everything. Reading through the video, summarizing everything. Because again, this is a long video where I went out and was using this, let it live stream. I've gathered the necessary information for the Solex, introduction, product summary, key features. And again, it just helps summarize the whole thing. If you're not using something like this just to at least give more context to post on what you're doing with your videos, this is a very, very, very simple thing to do. And it just helps expand the functionality of using AI to simplify some of the stuff that you're doing. So for me, coming in here, the key points of the anchor, the versatility, portability, eco-friendliness, multiple charging ports, uninterrupted power supply. In this video, AJ, the CEO, conducts a series of tests to evaluate the Solex F1200's performance in realistic media ministry scenarios. So awesome. So like, again, I could just come in here. Well, actually, I take the copy right there and I can just paste it directly in the description of my video or on the blog entry for my webpage. So hope that helps. Mike, I am glad you like it. Aiken would like to know, how would you use Easy Worship as lower thirds on OBS? I've kind of covered that. The concepts are still the same. You would have, I believe Easy Worship has the NDI function. If it doesn't, you would do a screen capture. I think I've covered something like that as well. And again, I hope I don't come off like a jerk, but a lot of the times this is the beauty of the YouTube stuff, of being able to leverage this. So Easy Worship on-screen lyrics and scripture in OBS. There you go. I have a video covering that same thing. I will put a link to that for you. And the other reason I don't go over it because I don't have Easy Worship on this computer, so I can't actually do that here to show you. Hopefully that helps. Wilfred on Facebook. Hello, hello. Yeah, and Mike, thank you for that. I couldn't remember if it does it. Easy Worship does have NDI built in, so that makes it even easier. I think that video covers that as well too. You're saying, can you show the main camera? Oh, let's see. All right, you want to see the main camera? My main camera is that. And come on, get in focus. Focus. There it goes. And you see, she is dusty. I had to clean her off. That's the Pocket Cinema Camera 4K that I am using for my main shot. And again, as you can see, this is what I'm staring at. Actually, let me cut over to the other shot. That's a better way for you to see the setup that I got right there. So this is where I'm reading all y'all stuff. And you see my lemonade ice there on the table there that's been sitting there for quite a while. And you see the back of my head. As you see, I need to shave. All right. Hopefully that helps. you with your question. Let me see. So back to what I was talking about. We are the Starlink one. I was hoping I was going to go over that today, but like I said, this is the whole setup that the Starlink is going to go to. I'm gonna see if I can get a connection here, and then test it out with the speeds. But we are going to test that out again once we get on site down in North Carolina. Anthony Johnson. Hey, AJ, how do I add an additional PTZ to an AVCAN's joystick? I have two AVCAN's 20Xs already. All right, that is easy, but I can't use my overhead because, as you see, I got too much stuff in the way. The easiest thing to do with that, and depends on the AVCANs, one of the easiest ways, one of the easiest ways is to come in here and do a search, and then you just search for the equivalent one if it shows up. Now, the E20s don't show up on the search. So the easiest thing is to use the CMS app and find that camera, the IP address, and then instead of going through the search, I would go through the inquiry option, and you would just manually add the camera. Again, I normally would do this, but since my table with my overhead, so you can see, is blocked, can't be able to do that. But I do have tons of videos where I show how I've set up this and set up everyone in that same setup. That'll probably be the best thing for you to help guide you through that. Hopefully that helps you. Rhonda. 15 key stream deck. Suggestions on functions to map to make streaming easier for a novice media team. Well, that is exactly how I set this up at Antioch, and they still use it that way. So let's go over here to the live stream system. Yes, I still have access for tech support over there at Antioch. So if I log in, this is how, now, this is where I created the OBS bundle for this very reason. So if I open up here, I could turn on their system. I don't want to do all that. So inside of here, let's go back to their beginning, their countdown. So the stream, why is it not starting up? Oh, there it goes. How I have theirs defaultly set up, when it goes to OBS, I just cover all the scenes. So it's literally 1 through 3. And why did the icons change? That's strange. Somebody changed the icons on here. Anyway, it goes in order. So we have pre-service. That's what you're seeing right now. Streaming is when it switches over to the scene where it would actually be pulling from the ATEM Television Studio HD. I also have online giving that goes to just a lower banner there that shows overlays over top of the live video. We have a be right back in case something happens. You know, especially like when they used to have the dance ministry and they were dancing to different music that we didn't have a rights to use. Also had technical issues. Goes to that one. We have our record, and we have the streaming button right there. I need to update these. I don't know what happened to... I don't know what happened to the buttons on here. I used to have ones that were animated and stuff like that. I don't know what happened to them. Go live. And when it's... See, yeah, I don't... That's strange. Anyway, this was playing a video, and it has actions. That's for funerals. Yeah, so I just have it simple as where it's a pre-service, live streaming, online giving, technical issues, be right back, ending. That's literally just those 3. And then the one in the middle is if there was an issue, and then go live and record. But we don't use record here anymore. So actually, I could get rid of this one because they record everything through the hyperdeck. So that's how they have it right there. That's how simply I have mine set up. So even when they first start, they get into the computer starts. This is what they interact with. Once they log in, and I can get rid of vMix. They're not using that. These were all of the websites to go directly to, how to reboot the system, open up OBS. That's all they would have to do. That's how I had mine there. So I wish they would let me click this and actually interact with that. But that's how I use the Stream Deck for my folks. I did the same thing at Sounds and Wonders, the exact same way. Back to Bruce. Oh, you're talking to each other. Great. Anthony, how do I get better sound from my records or records? Well, what do you mean by better sound? Like, what issues are you having with your sound first? And then we can address that. Page 2. Hello, Veronica. Thanks for joining. Kenny. Hey, good morning. New to your channel. Thanks for all you do. Question: Do you know a lot about Switcher Studio? Is that which one you're talking about? I've tried to mess with OBS, but I'm still so new. Is OBS better? If you're talking about Switcher Studio, yes, OBS is better in my personal opinion. Switcher is easier, but OBS has more growth potential than that, in my personal opinion. I've had more people move from Switcher to OBS than I've ever had people go from OBS to Switcher. Faden, hello. Thank you for joining. Back to Anthony. Have a Allen and Heath QU24 connected to the ATEM Mini external for sound. How do I get better quality for my recordings? The sound from the board is hard. House sound and stream sound set the same. Stream set lower. I mean, honestly, I would think the first thing is to make a separate mix. And this is one of those things you're just going to have to dial in to get it exactly the way you do. This is where from a beginner, and especially depending on the amount of people, especially most of us are not audio engineers. As much as I'm doing this, I still don't EQ. I don't do compression. I'm still trying to learn that stuff myself. But from an easy standpoint, it's easy just to duplicate whatever's going into the house, going to your live stream. That's not really the best thing, but that's the easiest thing. Once you get better at that, that's when I would make a separate mix that's just for the live stream, and somebody is listening through the ATEM or whatever extra way to mix and adjust for the live stream sound, just like somebody would be doing in-house. That's what I would think would probably be better for that. And that's just a process that takes time to go through. Ralph is saying, I have presenter. I don't know if that's oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I see your other comment here. We installed ProPresenter last week. It worked the first Sunday very good. Last Sunday, I lost my desktop icons. Could not get ProPresenter anything. I took off one of the screens and desktop came back. Yeah, that's one of the things you're just learning. That's how ProPresenter is. Now, what is your setup? One of the things that I always say, like even in my setup, I have ProPresenter that's running right now. I never turn ProPresenter on until every single screen that ProPresenter is going to use is on. So, like I have some churches that they use ProPresenter, they keep ProPresenter running, but they shut their ATEM down in their video switcher, which loses a screen, and then ProPresenter just freaks out. I personally don't open up ProPresenter until everything is on to make it work better. That's just me. But that is a known issue. Just shut down ProPresenter, open it right back up, and you should be good to go. Worst case scenario, you got to recalibrate and repoint and assign your screens again. Back to Aka. I had some issues with the blue screen of death on our church computer. I have not seen the blue screen of death in a while with the Lenovo, and want to find out if it has happened to you and how have you solved it. Well, it all depends. Most of the new blue screens with Windows 11 gives you a QR code and gives you some relevance of what the error is based off of. You got anything with that? Monty, yeah, the ministry specifically wanted it. So I was like, it's $900. They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Anthony, if that one supports Visca over IP, any of the ones, like I personally do like this one. I mean, it says it's from AVCams, but honestly, a lot of them use the same shell. The main thing you need to see are the functionality buttons. That's the only difference, and what protocols that are supported. I like that one. That's the one I've used for the most part. If it's a budget issue, there's a gray one that I've used. And again, it's all dependent on what protocols are supported. It's like I'll tell you right now. This is the one that I've used a lot. Like you see, how many times I've ordered it? 15 times. This is the other one. I keep procrastinating. That's the other one, the Formaco that I have on here. I have not reviewed that one. I'm bad with this. This joystick is $255. The issue with this joystick is this one does not support, as much as it says, it does not support Visca over IP. Let me rephrase that. It does support Visca over IP, but if the if the camera that you're using is not using the default port of 1259 for UDP or TCP, I mixed them up. I think UDP is 1259 and TCP is 5678. One of those. If you can't adjust that port, this joystick does not let you change that. That's the one problem I've had, and I've had to return those a couple of times because it didn't make that work. I've used that one. Again, you see, it's by different vendors, but these are the exact same thing. This is another one, the Envato. This is another one, but this one is going for $349, but you'll see in this list, this is the same shell. This is the same shell. This is it's not the same shell, but honestly, the concept is still the same. I would try that other one, but I think the Envato, this one would not work with that one. At least with mine, it didn't. This one gave me some more flexibility, but at the same price, I would probably just go for the Envato one that they have right here. Either way, you're not going to get lower than $255. This one, but I know the AVCams ones, I've paired them with almost every camera except for the high-end 4K Panasonic one. This controlled all of them. So that's what I would recommend. Chris Reed Beats, and I need to take a sip of something real quick. I'm getting kind of parched. We are currently using a Sony. We're currently using the Sony A6400 and a Nikon D3500 as our primary streaming cameras, but I'm looking into PTZs. Could you recommend a good one at a mid-range budget? Again, I would highly. Oh, I had a tickle in my ear. Kind of caught me off guard. My bad. I wasn't quick into my spirit. What I would honestly do when it comes to a budget one, and honestly, just getting started, I think it's a very, very good, reasonably priced camera, is the AVCams. It's going in at $400. Very, very good quality in image. Be mindful with this, though. This is a correction I'm trying to make at Gates because this is the last camera that I installed there for them, and it doesn't show the back of the camera. Let me see if I can get another one that shows the back. None of these show the back of the camera. All right, good. So the issue with this, great camera, but this is one thing I must let you know. The HDMI out is the only port that supports 60 frames a second. The SDI out, and this is the issue at Gates, we had an original SDI connection ran there. Connecting this camera here, it limits the frame rate over SDI out to 30. So it's a noticeable difference when the camera shifts from 60 to 30. So I have a leftover up-down cross HD that I'm going to put in place that will bump the frame rate up. Or I could just run a fiber optic HDMI cable there and then convert it back to SDI in the media booth. But I'm going to see if I can show you an example of the difference. All right, so this is the AV cans. As you can see, that's the image that's coming from the AV cans compared to this. I don't know if you can tell how much more fluid. That is the BZB gear that they have at the back compared to the side one. See, that's 30 frames a second. I don't know if you can tell. You just from the motion, it's not as fluid from there compared to right there. So that's the only thing. But honestly, the AV cans is a very good choice when it comes back to it from a price. And let me go back to that one because that's the one with the AI tracking. If you don't need that, again, you can get this one going for around like $400. And this one now has NDI. It used to be the NDI version was $599, but now this is the base one. So NDI, 20X, and all that functionality for $400. That is a steal at that price. I will put a link to that down below. And I am verifying that my sound is still going well. All righty. Dean. Hey, AJ, do you use the video assist for the Blackmagic? If so, which one? I'm thinking about getting the 12G. What are your thoughts on the Atmos? I've played around with them, so let me show y'all what Dean is talking about. I thought about getting these because, like I said, I'm getting ready to do the graduation at Prince George High School for the 4th time. That is what the Anchor battery backup and all that stuff is going to be used for. What the video assist is for, you have these options right here. And this gives you a secondary screen, but it also allows you to have redundancy as in recording. So you have, if I can get to it, where it shows, you also have a way of connecting drives in there. So for me, it's redundancy. So it's a bigger screen so that the operator can see it instead of the small viewfinder on the camcorder that we use. But then in case they mess up, I can record directly on the video assist, but then I'm also recording through the ATEM. Then I'm also recording through the HyperDeck shuttle mini that I'm taking with me as well too. Redundancy and backups of backups of backups. And looking at getting the smaller Rode recorder to also record the audio. When you get to graduations and weddings, you need to have triple and quadruple redundancy just in case anything happens. That's why the battery backup is there too, to have backup power if we lose a connection or if the RLTC trips over your extension cable, stuff like that. But that's what that is. Honestly, I really don't want to get the 12G just from a price standpoint. But if I was to get one, I would get the bigger screen 12G one. Even though I got some new glasses, I'm not showing my age, but man, reading the small silk screened print on motherboards is getting a little difficult to read. So a bigger screen is the better thing for me. That's what I would use. Tangela. Hello. Good morning, Dr. Holmes from McKinney, Texas. I decided to go with the NDI camera AI tracking. Sweet. Let me know how that works for you. Saying I have to install it at a church in Maryland next month. Awesome. Hey, well, use that as a viewer story. Please do that and show us what the before and after is. This is a great example of viewer stories that we can show what other people are doing. So please do a small little before and after and a little snippet of what that is, so we can see what we're doing and hopefully encourage some other people to try the same thing. Let's see. Hi, I'm also 17 and head of our media ministry. Awesome. And my question is that my window display is not working in my OBS latest version. Is it my OBS only or even others? How do I fix it? In your screen capture in OBS, sometimes you need to change the capture method in OBS, and that has solved it sometimes for me. Like when I was doing the anchor upstairs, I had a similar issue with your display, your window capture. So like if I come in here and let's make a window capture. So I can carry the screen, and then the capture method is automatic. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and you do have other options. So like if I went back to the bit version, Windows 7 and up, see, it's not capturing my screen. And then you also have Windows 10. That version works. Sometimes capturing games and stuff like that does not work well for me. So like if I go to Pro Presenter, see it captures it with that. Windows 7 captures it as well too. And automatic. Automatic is going to pick whichever one is the best one that works for that. So I would play around with that. If that does not work, play around with your title and stuff like that to see if it matches. But yes, I have had similar issues where I had to change the capture method, manually pick one, and it worked good for me. Dean wants to know, can you show the Unify setup? I'm thinking about getting a PoE switch, and I wanted to ask about replacing the Verizon router with something from Ubiquiti. If I can find my... I need to find my other fiber optic cable, then yes, I can. Hold on one second. You know what? I disconnected it because the other fiber optic cable, when I was looking for it, that's what I have going to the multi-view that I moved over here. So I need to... Wait a minute. I'll just use one of the new ones. Hold on. All right. Hopefully you should be able to hear me. I'm going to use one of the cables for St. Matthew's. No, for Galilee. I have this. And I need to use my Sony so that I can move around freely. And I need an adapter to connect my camera to this cable. All right, we got that. I will show you this setup and I will show you my setup. Now, again, I can't hear myself. I'm looking, the bar seems fine. So this is source. This goes here. And hopefully I don't have to unwind this too much. And let's connect this to camera number 2. That goes to display. All right, so we have an image. So, alrighty, so let me get rid of that. So I'm gonna show you my setup. So in here, that's another Ubiquiti product. That's a sensor. I'll do that later. But I will show you my setup. Here we have our UDM Pro that is connected directly from the, let me make sure, all right, my audio's still going. That is coming directly from my Fios connection that's outside in the garage. Then we have a 24 port PoE switch. Then we have a 10 gigabit aggregate switch right under that. And then there's the anchor that is powering everything there, and those are my two NASs. Now the other setup, again, this is still all my setup. This is another Pro 24 port switch that I have here. I can get back down here. I don't know if you can see it. That is the magnetic Ultra right there that's stuck there at the bottom. PoE switch, can get it, there it goes. That's the magnetic one that I was just showing you that we just got that. That is a PoE switch that is powering my Unify camera, my PoE switch, joystick, and the camera. Then we have another switch back here. This is another 24 port PoE switch right here that handles all the stuff back here, because this BZB one, actually, this is the dead one that we removed from Faith Community. I just have it here. Actually, it doesn't give consistent power, so I actually need to remove it. And also back here in my setup, that's one of my cameras. That is an access point right here for downstairs. And I can't get to the door because, as you can see, we got boxes everywhere. That's my setup. Now, on each floor, I have an access point just like I have here on each floor. That is what I use for my setup here. And let me get this out of the way. And that is actually, I have a similar camera in, well, actually, I'll just show you. I think the cable will reach. Also, because of how my switch is, this house actually had wires already. I actually did this one. This is my camera for the garage. Then, can it go far enough? Let me unwind this just a little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. And as you can see, we got tons of boxes for new client stuff. And then here is the other camera right here for so if you wanted to see what the outside of the house looks from, that's where it's at. So this is gonna be fun to wind all that cable up. So that is my setup, and that is what I mimic when I do the installs for other churches. So this is Galilee, 24 port PoE switch, similar UDM Pro, 6 cameras, 2 access points, 8 port switch that's gonna actually go in the back in the fellowship hall. So hopefully that you like that tour, and that is my setup. So let me get back in front of this computer here. And let's get back so I can actually hear y'all. And hopefully y'all were hearing me the entire time. It looks like everything was going. Hopefully it didn't go out. If I did, my apologies. So, I think that's it. Kenneth just purchased the OC Stream Deck as a backup. I really like all the features. Please explain how USB output works. That's upstairs. I can't really get it right now. USB 1 shows up just like the ATEM. It just shows up as a webcam when you connect everything to it. I don't have a jack, actually, even an outlet to plug it into. But the concept, actually, hold on. Let me just get it. Hold on. let me get the camera back again. Shouldn't have put this camera up. So we'll just use the camera we were just using. Here's my input. Need a cable to connect to it. Video cable, that is. Connect to HDMI in number 1. And then we need to connect USB-C cable. Come on. To the computer. I am connecting to USB input number 1. I still have not received a download link for the firmware for NDI, so that's why you haven't seen that video yet. Alrighty, that is all connected. Let's go over here to the desktop. Let's open up OBS. Let's turn on the OC Go. And turn on the camera. So inside of here, we're going to come down to our video capture device. We're going to select the Go Stream Deck. I'm going to use the Go Stream Deck as my audio. And what am I missing? Fit. Am I plugged into the wrong thing? HDMI 1. My camera is on. I have it there. I don't know why I'm not getting anything. Hold on, let me close ProPresenter. Sometimes that acts up on me. Let's try it one more again. Running in safe mode. Oh, right, there it goes. Maybe it was something else going on with that. So anyway, that is from the OC Go. And that's where everything is coming from here. And it's just over USB. That's it. Now that's USB number 1. I can't remember if USB 2 limits it. I just disconnected it and plugged it into number 2. Let's see. Does that change anything? So let's go back in here. Yeah, it looks like USB number 1 is the only one that shows that input. I mean, that's the only one that outputs. So let me switch it back to number 1 again. I don't know if number 2 is dedicated for like recording or something like that. So let's close it out. Go back in one more time. And there it is. Yeah, it must be that that's the only one that works with it. So really straightforward. I mean, we're pulling audio from there. So hold on. Let me make sure. Input number 1. Now we're bringing audio from that. So we're bringing. Oh, I have mic 1. Sorry. I had the wrong one on. Now we're bringing audio directly from the camera. Really straightforward. Make sure if you're having issues, it looks like the USB 2 out does not work with sending video or your connection to OBS through there. Let me get this out of the way. Whew. All right, folks. If y'all like these adventures, you see me jumping through all this other stuff, please go ahead and hit that like button. Greatly appreciate it. Let's see. We're on page number 2. I got that. You said what? If I can point right, that one, or are you talking about that? Which one? I do have a mic stand that's in the garage that I walked past. I didn't think I looked at it, but let's see. No, I was talking about Dean. I didn't bring a comment up. And you were saying I actually ordered this, but I canceled it. I might get the Blackmagic Ulti Matte 12 Mini, but the ATEM does a decent job of keying. Yeah, I wanted to get one to play around with it. I actually canceled it. Trabuzar, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Hi AJ, we recently purchased the Acer Predator desktop with a 11th gen Core i5 11 and a GTX 1660 Super. I'm facing an issue with the DVI and HDMI outputs. My presentation software recognizes both outputs as the same. Any insight? Yeah, all you have to do is go on the computer and hit the Windows and the P button. You'll get this menu. Thank you, Steve, for the super chat. You'll get this to change your outputs. So right now, mine is at extended. Most likely yours is at duplicate. Just change it to extended, and then both of the monitors will show up as something separate. Hopefully that helps you. You know who I am. I was wondering where you at. I'm streaming using my ATEM Extreme, pulling audio from a bus via the X32. I have streamed to YouTube and my USB-C out for Zoom. Okay. But I want to switch to OBS. Is there a way I can use OBS for Zoom and YouTube? Yes. In OBS, we did a video on this before. All you would have to do is come in here, and we used a video audio cable, but if you're bringing in audio through the X32 connected to the computer, you don't have to use the VB audio cable. All you would do is come in here and just turn on virtual camera, and then set the virtual camera as your input inside of Zoom. So that will be coming from OBS. So like if I come in here and do pre-service, and I have this, and let me switch out, press the wrong button. Let me switch out real quick. Let me open up Zoom so all my credentials and stuff don't show. And I'm gonna do a new meeting. Let me put these side by side so you can actually see them. All right, so all I do here is if you're using a mixer and it's connected, you can always set the audio, the mic to be the same, so you don't have to worry about that. But inside of my video, I would select my OBS virtual camera, and now whatever comes here is what shows. So that will be your pass-through for Zoom. And then if I started streaming, whatever shows here would be the exact same thing. So if I come here to technical difficulties, whatever shows is what goes there. And if you want to know where this beautiful stuff is, this is the OBS Complete Bundle version 3 that we have available on our website. And we have 3 languages? Is it 4 languages that we support in that now? Hold on. I can't remember. Yeah, so we support German, Spanish, and French. Yeah, 4 languages, and English. So that's what all that stuff covers, and more languages coming soon. But yes, that's all you would do. Turn on the virtual camera in OBS, and then set that as your camera inside of Zoom. Whatever goes through that's what goes through. So, and then you can stream with OBS to wherever you want, and you can still use the multiple RTMP, and you can go to multiple places here as long as your computer supports it, and Zoom. Again, your computer needs to be able to support all of it for that to work. So let's end Zoom. Let's leave OBS open because we might have another question about that. You're welcome. and let me go back to you. Hopefully that makes sense. I want to change from using my ATEM to control audio because I can do all. Yeah, in that same setup, if the audio is coming into your computer over USB, you can have that audio split to multiple applications, and you'll be able to control that. Back to Aiken. Also, I want to know, what is the best affordable shotgun mic? For context, I connected the microphone to the camera and from the camera to the ATEM ISO mic. Sorry for so many questions. No, this is what this is for. Again, when somebody says affordable, I need to know what your budget is. Let me know what that is. If you don't want to say that, the shotgun mic I got here, actually, no, the original shotgun mic that I started with, I actually got from DSL Video Shooter. Hold on. Let me see if it shows up in my history. No, it doesn't. I need to change to my original personal account. There it go. This is the original shotgun mic I started with. And that thing is $33. It's still around. No, I gave that to somebody. I forgot who I gave that to. But that honestly works great. Works off of one AA battery. Very, very, very good. Tacstar SGC 598. That works very, very well. I used that for a long time before I moved to the Rode video mic. And those are still two shotgun mics that I use. Now, when it comes to churches, I use the Audio Technica one, but that requires phantom power and all this other stuff. But this is a very, very, very affordable one that I started everything with when it came to, my YouTube. That was the first audio upgrade I think I actually ever did. And that was when I was still using my Logitech webcam. So I will put that there. Way too long of a name. Hold on. I'm going to put a link in the description for those. And again, I mean, it's budget friendly. So it's nothing the matter with having redundancy and backups. It works great there. Philip Paul got 3 comments back to back. Hey, AJ, if you're controlling the in-house sound, stage monitor, and live stream audio, and all are different mix, like aux out for live stream, stage, and house, soundboard is the main hall itself, how would you monitor it? Using in-ear monitors to hear them both? No, I would have headphones for the house. And then if I'm doing my stream, if it's going to an ATEM, a video mixer, or OBS or whatever, I would have headphones connected to that other device to hear that mix. Make sure you have closed ear headphones. So like these Rode ones, it will isolate the sound so you can hear clearly what's just going on with that given mix. That's how I would do it. In-ear monitors will work. You just need to make sure that you can isolate all the other sound so that you don't confuse the sound from whichever mix to the other one. WB, Warner Brothers. Have you ever used the Field World Live Pro L1 V1 multi-camera? Yes, I have, and I actually did a video on that. Actually, who won that? I think that, man, why is his name escaping me? Gave it to somebody in the Facebook group. Why am I tripping? I'll have his name here in a half a second. He's going to be so mad that I can't even think of his name off the top of my head. Man, but anyway, yes, I've done the video with that and actually gifted it to someone here in the ministry. And yes, it is good. And yes, it was useful in OBS. Yes. Muangazi, hope I'm pronouncing that wrong. Good evening from Kenya. Thank you for joining. Pat, looking to change out HDMI to 3 classroom TVs. Want ideas on the best way to do this. I would need video and audio maximum distance 100 feet. Go with fiber optic HDMI cable, similar to what I have. They are rated up to 300 feet, and I have not had an issue with them. Just don't bend them like crazy, and they work very well. I have been sticking with the DTech line because they have been performing very, 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 very well for me. As you can see, well, actually, I've ordered, that's a short one. It doesn't show, we've ordered these a bunch of times. And that's the one I just plugged in, use it for another ministry at St. Matthew's. That is what I would use on these. DTech fiber optic HDMI. And we've gone all the way up to 300 feet, 328 feet, and they've worked great. Bayo, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. We use vMix for our live stream, which is what you're watching right now. This is from vMix. Lately, our camera field experienced glitches. Whenever we remove the audio input, it starts working pretty well. So we get to send audio via NDI from another PC. What could be the problem? I'm not 100% sure on that one. He said, lately our camera field experienced glitches. Or our camera feed, experienced glitches. Whenever we remove the audio input, it starts working. No, I've never noticed that. That's strange. If you can email a sample of that, or if you could record that and email that, I'd like to see exactly what that is. Please. It's awesome that we're getting people from all over the world, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but some of y'all, I can't pronounce your names, so I don't even want to try, and I don't want to offend you. So if I don't say your name, it's because I can't even pronounce it. Don't even want to attempt to pronounce it wrong. Hello, I'm viewing from Nigeria. This meeting has been informative. Hey, I am glad you chimed in and you've helped. WB also wants to know, also, what is a useful setup for scripture lower thirds? Well, what's your setup? We've done ones where you can use First Fruits, OBS, Bible plugin. We've used every presentation software imaginable we've used. We've used doing a screen capture from like Bible Gateway, web pages. It all depends. You can do them in any format, but give me a setup so I can know and steer that direction. Richard, thanks for chiming in. Back to Anthony. The Envato that I have doesn't have the Ethernet slot on it. Would that be an issue as far as a controller? So is yours USB? If it's USB, the PTZ Optics app can see a USB camera and connect to it. If it doesn't have Ethernet, and if it only has, does it have RS-232? What's the type of connections? Or tell me the exact model. I can look it up and see which one as well. Back to Aiken. Is it possible to connect an Ethernet cable to my laptop and ATEM and computer and connect the laptop to the ATEM wirelessly? And connect the app and ATEM to my computer via USB-C out and use both for OBS. Hold on. Is it possible to connect the Ethernet cable to my laptop, ATEM, and computer and connect the laptop? If the ATEM is connected to the network, because ATEM doesn't have any wireless functionality. Like I did this at church Sunday. The ATEM is connected. I was on the Wi-Fi, and I can connect to the ATEM if I'm on the same network, wirelessly or wired. It doesn't matter as long as I'm on the same network. Yes, you can. The USB out, and I did this in a video as well too. Like when I used to stream football games, I was limited on my USB out because I was using that to record, and that's when I had the ATEM Mini Pro. I set up everything first over USB, disconnected it, made sure that the Ethernet works. I'm on the same network. Now my laptop was able to talk to the ATEM wirelessly. My laptop was connected wirelessly to my router. The ATEM was connected to the router through a hard wire. I was able to talk to it that way. The USB out was recording, but if I had it going to OBS the same way, yes, it could work. So yes, that is the answer. It cannot, and I keep getting this question tons and tons of times. People still want to know, with the ATEM Mini Pro, can you hook up a hub and have it feed into OBS and record at the same time? No, it cannot work. That's the reason why the ATEM Mini Extreme was. It gave you 2 USBs to do that. The ATEM Mini Pro cannot send video out to a computer and send the recording out to a drive at the same time. It does not work. I did a video talking about that, and that's funny. People ask that question on that video where it says you can't do that. But that's why the ATEM Mini Extreme does that other stuff. Back to You Know Who I Am. Is there a video to walk me through the virtual camera? Yes, I do have that. I think when I did my Ash Wednesday one, did that. And yeah, I did a whole bunch of those with those. Let me see. So we got, when we talking about the virtual camera with the Mac, what other ones do we have? How to stream to Zoom with OBS. That's the one that covers it mainly. Live stream with OBS. This goes over it as well too. We talk about with the bundle. We ain't recommending these other people. We recommended me. So yeah, we've covered it many a time. So any one of these will work. This main one here works as well too. That's an old one, but that's what it covers as well too. You don't need the plug-in, because at the time of this recording, the virtual camera was a plug-in. Since the recent version, I think version 30, the virtual plug-in, virtual camera is a part of OBS, so you don't need a plug-in anymore to do that. WB wants to know, are there any true 4K HDMI capture cards out there? Yes, Blackmagic makes some. Elgato makes one. I don't have the HDMI version on me, but Blackmagic does make one. This is the Decklink Duo 2, which is 4K and SDI. I have, actually, let me take that back. The Intensity Pro that's in my streaming system over here is what I originally used to use. That's a 4K capture card. I've used that for years. Let's see. I keep pressing the pedal when I meant to go to somewhere else. The Intensity Pro 4K. This is what I've used for years. And it does capture at 4K. It doesn't capture at 60 frames a second. It does up to 30 at 4K. But what is the Decklink mini recorder 4K? I believe this one, this is another one. This one does capture. I don't know why it says video capture at 1080p. It's 60. I mean, it's 4K. Let's go back to Blackmagic. Products capture. So that's the one we were just talking about. Where is it at? Decklink mini recorder. I hope they didn't shut that one down. There it goes. That's not what I was clicking on. Show all. It's not showing me. Maybe it's under here. Yeah, there it is. Models. That's the monitor recorder. This is the one I was looking at. And see, this records what inputs. Yeah, this one is limited to 30 as well. So the Intensity Pro 4K is the well, what's the frame rate that you're also looking at? This is the quad HDMI. This one is 4K. This is the other one that I normally would have. Yeah, this is the one that actually can support up to 60, 4K 60. Let's see that one as well on here. Yeah, so I mean, it's 4 inputs, but this is the one that I've used. And again, if you don't need 60 frames a second, that will work. You also have the Elgato 4K. Come on now. The Elgato 4K. This one is at 30. This one's at 30. This one, the 4K 60, this one is at 4K capture card at 60 frames a second. This is the 4K version of the 60 that I used to have originally as well too. So there you go. There's quite a few that can actually do it. Aiken wants to know, are wireless microphones better than standard microphones? I mean, better is subjective. Wireless mics are more convenient for moving around. You don't have to worry about cables. I wouldn't consider one better or worse than the other. It's more about convenience. Fetch. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. With a Ryzen 5 5600G with a B550 motherboard without graphics card would be enough to run OBS. Yes, that's the exact specs of the system that I built. The systems that are behind me for the church are exact same ones. That's the ones I've been using for a while. So yes, that is more than enough power to do that. Which small wireless transmitter receiver would you recommend that you would connect to a camera for the ATEM Pro? The Rode Wireless. Now, I mean, what type of mic? Are you talking about like a handheld mic? Or are you talking about like mics like you saw me connect to my lapel? Which one? Chief Shepherd Outreach. I appreciate the wealth of knowledge that I've been able to obtain from following you. Hey, you're welcome. Glad to have helped. Which streaming app are you using currently? vMix. vMix is handling this. We use HDMI to connect our camera to the capture card. We have got to repeatedly buy HDMI as they get bad quickly. What would you advise for connecting the camera to a capture card? Fiber optic HDMI. If you're still having a problem, you could go over to SDI, but then you would need to get a converter. SDI is more rugged, but you would need a converter on both sides of that to convert from HDI to SDI, then SDI back to HDMI. GHB says he has the text card and works great. Yes, it does. We're over noon, so let's go ahead and shut this down real quick. Let me see. Compare from analog mixer and digital mixer. As I know, from analog mixer, the gain can only set for all output. I don't know which mixer you have if gain is set for all of them. No, you should have an individual gain for each channel. I've never worked with a mixer that is only one gain for everything. That is in my personal opinion, that is a bad mixer because different mics have different settings for that. Most of the other mixers, analog or digital, have a gain for each individual channel. Miriam wants to know, are there any inexpensive intercom systems for communications between the media and stage? Yeah, there are a bunch, but it all depends. How many are you looking at? trying to find a few of them. I mean, honestly, the easiest way is just get like security wireless intercoms. Hold on, I'm trying to look these up. So it's a few of them. Some of these are getting wireless intercom set. I know I've ordered a couple of these for some ministries. It's bringing me everything other than that I'm looking for. The cheapest way, personally, I would look at is just doing like a walkie-talkie intercom set with headphones and stuff like that. Here's a 4-pack for like going for $40. Put them on the same channel. Boom. I've taken this on cruises. I mean, granted, I got the one that was really cheap and it didn't go as far as I wanted to, but you can get other ones. But if you're in a relative close proximity, something like this will work very well. Shane and Hannah, hello, hello. Stretch wants to know, do you have a video for cameras zoom in and out? In what aspect? What type of camera? Kevin wants to know, wanting to shoot some video for a documentary project, what is the most affordable DSLR? The last DSLR I had was a Nikon, and that was about maybe like 4 years ago. So I personally have not used one, so it's kind of hard for me to recommend anything. The last one that I played around with, like the Lumix G4 or the G5, I would think something like that. But I'm kind of rough on those because I haven't used them. And let me check a bunch of them. Jeffrey, we're doing inventory, and we have a lot of equipment that is no longer in use. What is a good site to obtain resale quotes and possibly sell it? eBay, or if you contact the right people, me or any of the admins on our Facebook group, because we don't want to turn that into a selling market. But once it's approved, yeah, we can do something like on our Facebook group. O'Neill, I'm from Jamaica. I appreciate the awesome job you're doing. My church learned a ton from you when we were starting out in live stream. Hey, I am glad I am been able to be of help. Miriam also wants to know, what do you recommend for a church classroom smartboard touchscreen? I have not got into that, so it's kind of hard for me to recommend one of those. Sorry about that. Broke Citizen. I used to have to make DVDs for folks at church. How are folks consuming media from church after service is over? That Blackmagic SD card duplicator would have been good for me back then. Yeah, I think Antioch had an issue when I stopped doing it. And I told him, I was like, hey, if y'all don't want me to stop doing it, learn how to make the DVDs so I'm not the only one that's doing it. And then magically that request went away. But honestly, once we started doing everything and moving it to where now you don't have to do the logistics and the materials needed to keep maintaining that stuff, and now people can instantly watch Facebook and the YouTube after the fact, that kind of made that a lot easier there. We got about 3 more, and then 4 more questions. I'm going to shut it down. Back to O'Neill. Our church does a lot of pull down and up. HDMI cabled are going too often, so I want to switch to SDI. SDI actually has a 300-foot max, but you're telling me that's the max distance you're going to run. Okay. Could you recommend a budget-friendly converters? The Blackmagic ones, if you get them at their retail price, they go for like $52. Anything higher than that is kind of crazy markup. Let me see. Let's go SDI to HDMI converter. Yeah, so they bumped it up a little bit. So HDMI to SDI is going for $65, and then in reverse is 69. And then I've shown how to make your own cables, and then you don't have to worry about it. And that's what I use. I've used other brands. People say decimators, but yeah, the decimator is like, it's a massive jump in price. Now, honestly, you could go lower and then just use a USB-C power cable like you would use for your phone to power this, or hook it up to a TV. The power that's coming from the TV typically is 5 volts. Should be enough to support that as well if you really need to get the price lower. That's the converter, Dean, that you were telling me about, I believe. I'm trying to find like the decimator ones. Like they just jump ridiculously in price. Yeah, this is the decimator that's going like for 500. I mean, you could have bought almost like 5 of each of the other ones for that price. So that's me personally. Richard, I can't answer that because I don't have a Mevo to play around with it. And I didn't think the Mevos gave control outside of their own app. At least when I was messing with them, you had to stick with their own little thing and you couldn't connect it to OBS. If that's new, that's a new update. I have not messed with that, so I'm not sure. Miriam, is it possible to get Zoom into vMix? Yes, for a virtual guest. Yes. We are having our screen duplicated in vMix. We currently put Zoom on a projector, then desktop capture. Yes, I've done that before, and yes, you can. You can do a screen capture, but the latest version of vMix actually makes it easier to bring in Zoom. I need to do a video on that, but yes, you can. 3 more, then we're shutting it down. I have the ATEM connected to PC via USB to OBS. At startup, I always have to refresh OBS to get the camera image. I would check to make sure that Windows is not set to have power management on. That will turn off power to the USB. That's the first thing I would check for that. Reverend Leroy, in what way can you get the most independent HDMI output display on in what way can you get the most independent HDMI outs display on the laptop? I'm sorry, I'm not understanding. You there, Reverend Leroy. My apologies. Not understanding that. Trying to find which is the last one. Aaron, hello. I'm doing good. This is the last one we got. We got a Blackmagic camera, but it came without a lens. Yeah, that's the bad thing about the Blackmagics. We managed to get a lens considering the short time frame, seeing we had a program. It turned out that the video output wasn't as sharp as our Sony camera. What do you advise? Honestly, this, like I said, the Blackmagic was my first foray into lenses. So I bought multiple lenses because I didn't know what I was doing. F-stops and all this other stuff. I just didn't know. So I bought quite a few lenses. I bought one, returned it, bought one, returned it until I found the one I got. This is a Sigma lens. This is not a zoom one. It stays still, but I do have this lens here that I have on the camera upstairs. I have another lens for a long zoom stuff that I use for it. This is the lens actually I'm putting on the studio camera for the graduation. And there's another one that I have, a bunch of Lumix lenses that I have, and a Olympus pancake one. I don't know where that one is. Excuse me. It must be on the camera upstairs. Yeah, it's on the camera upstairs. That's it. I think that's it, folks. Let me go ahead and give a big shout out to my supporters. Hey, if you like what we do here, where we help trying to give realistic, affordable help for media ministries, I don't recommend 20 and 50 and a quintillion, billion, million, zillion dollar equipment, because we know every ministry doesn't have that. If you like what we do here, you might want to consider supporting this. I don't want to say ministry, but I mean kind of what it is. But I want to give a shout out to our Patreon supporters and YouTube members. Again, you can get started by going to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO or clicking the join button down below. And hey, you can get started for as little as $1 a month, and everything that you do helps go to fund buying the equipment. And again, rarely do I ever keep this equipment that is coming from the funds that our supporters do. I always give that away to somebody else. If I buy something like the AV cans, that's not the AV cans, but the Anchor, I bought that personally. So that's not coming from any of the money from here. What y'all do helps support what we do, where we put that money, stockpile it. That's what helps with the giveaways that we do every 10,000 and all this other good stuff. So if no one has ever told you, thank you for what you are doing, folks. Sometimes I've been meaning to do this as a media booth, but I've been so busy. I'll probably record it tonight or tomorrow. But a lot of the stuff we do is very thankless. Sometimes we have more people ask us about our skills than about the individual. So that's why I want to tell you, that's great, everything that you're doing. You're a great video editor, videographer, whatever, photographer, videographer, whatever, audio engineer, that's great. But I appreciate you for the person that you are. Not just for your skills, but for the person that you are. Because there's a certain calling to be able to do what we do. And I appreciate the hard work that you do. All of us are not experts in these fields. We're learning this on the go. And I just appreciate the person that you are for a willingness to continue to do this stuff. I know that sometimes people don't say thank you. They don't check up on you to see what you're doing. They don't know that you're spending your own money, your sweat equity, your time, all this other stuff, the frustration, the disappointment of you do all this other stuff and people just fuss that there's a buzzing noise in the sound, not realizing that you spent all night climbing in the ceiling, running new cables, making new cables. I appreciate you, because if you weren't there, something would be missing. There's something that you specifically do that you bring to the table that no one else on the face of this planet can do. We'd be missing something if you weren't doing what you're doing. So I appreciate you. I hope what I do here helps encourage you, helps you make it a little bit easier. Again, I don't know everything, never claim to. But I need you to keep doing what you're doing, because it's not my responsibility, nor is it your responsibility to reach everybody on the face of the planet. It's ours. So I hope the little stuff that I do helps you. I hope you have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you is, all over the face of the planet, folks. And just a reminder, we will have a roundtable on Facebook. All that information is there. If you've never been to a roundtable, I highly recommend that you join it. Hopefully you leave that with some encouragement, some inspiration, and some brotherly love with some other fellow folks in ministry from all over the face of the planet. But I think that's about it. So you have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. And we'll be catching y'all on the next video, folks. Later.